Hey everyone, welcome back to Elemental Cartomancy. Today I'm coming on to do a VR to the lovely Kasia from Tarot Map. This is hashtag Hello Again Tarot. Okay, so this is there's three prompts to this tag, and each response is a tarot deck. Um, the first prompt is Hello Again. So she says, show us an old deck that you fell in love with and have started using again. Um, this might shock you, this might not. The deck that I'm actually going to choose for this is the Smith-Waite, good old Rider-Waite-Smith. Uh, Believe it or not, Rider-Waite-Smith isn't a deck that I use very often, or it's not a deck that I've used consistently often throughout, the last year or throughout my entire practice. I started off with, this was my very first tarot deck, the original Rider-Waite-Smith. Um, so it's always been one that I've been in love with. It's always one that I've loved, but in terms of my general practice, it's not one that I've used very much until quite recently. A good friend gifted me the Centennial Edition, um, a deck that I'd always been skeptical about because of the backs. I never liked the backs because I'm weird like that. That stopped me getting the deck, but he gifted me it, and I actually love the deck. Been going through some family stuff lately, and this is the only deck that I'd really used throughout that period, for daily pools and whatnot. But anyway, I'm yapping on, and I'm not even showing you any of the cards. That's not very good, is it? So it's not in order or anything because I had been using it. Um, this deck comes with, oh, here we go, right away, you see it. It comes with 4 art cards like this. So these aren't actual tarot cards, these aren't part of the tarot deck, but these are some of Pixie's artwork. Pixie being Pamela Coleman Smith, the artist of the Smith-Waite. Um, so I actually use these within the deck. I've shuffled the 4 in and I use them when I'm doing readings and stuff. Um, so I mean, this is a deck I don't really need to kind of go through in any depth. We've all seen it a million times over, no doubt. There's another one of the art cards. So like when this comes up, this looks. I think this is supposed to be like family singing carols together, unless I'm very much mistaken. In fact, I've got the wee card thing that tells me what all the. I've just thrown it on the floor. That's helpful. So details for sheet music illustration for Christmas Carol. Yeah. So I mean, the way that I look at this, it's like a parent and a child singing Christmas carols together. So you might think of family, you might think of doing things in collaboration. Just depends on how it hits you at the time when it comes up, I suppose. But that's how I use the 4 art cards. I look at the titles, which this is them. And I use that to kind of determine what the interpretation is essentially. So yeah, the Smith-Waite, that is my hello again. That's the one that I fell in love with previously, hadn't really used to any great degree for a long time, and I'm now kind of coming back to it like really quite heavily. So yeah, that is prompt 1. Prompt 2 is getting to know you better. Show us a deck that you have been working with already and is still around you. A deck that you're getting to know better. Well, this has got to be Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turian. So this is a deck that was released only a couple of months ago, and only came into my possession about a month back or something. It is absolutely stunning. If you said to me 6 months ago, you're going to fall in love with a black and white deck, I would have said, probably not, but this is just something else. This deck is, um, absolutely, love it. I love the readings that I get with it. Um, I love the images. I love Anna's art style. You've probably heard me saying maybe once or twice. I just think it's absolutely stunning. Strength card. Like, it's just such a nice deck. Um, Yeah, the Three of Swords there. So I use the two alternative cards. I'm more a numerological reader, so for Three of Swords, I prefer to look at generally as, you know, growth of the intellect, expansion of the mind, that kind of a thing. Which sure can lead to painful experiences. It can lead to heartbreak and whatnot, but you know, at its core, to me, it's a card about expanding your mind. Um, so yeah, this is the one that I've been getting to know a lot better. I've been using this deck a lot. Um, I just it reads so well, like the different cards together. Like they just go really well and they always tell a nice story. Do you know what I mean? Another deck that I feel does that really well is Tarot of the She. Tarot of the She, you pull three cards from that, and I can sit them, you know, beside me whilst I work, and just glance at them throughout the day, and I'll see different wee stories, throughout the day, but they just all seem to go together really well, and this is another deck um, that does that. Um, so, yeah, Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turian is my getting to know you better. And the third and final prompt is pleased to meet you. So this is a deck, it's essentially a new arrival, and it's one that you've not had the chance to really work with yet. And for me, this is the Orisha Tarot by Andrew McGregor. This deck really appeals to me, like the art style of it, the use of colour, um, the, the stories. So the guidebook is called Patakis of the Orisha. Um, Patakis means stories. Um, Now, I'm not really a religious person at all, but I'm certainly not of a religion that works with the Orisha. But I am really interested in lots of different mythologies, religions, you name it, even different stories and whatnot. I've got, you know, I love stories and I love weaving them into my tarot readings. So whenever I get the chance to learn something new, through you know something that I love like tarot, then I'm all for it. Like I was saying, the art style in this deck is really appeals to me. Um, so I'm going to try and not mix them up because I'll probably do a walkthrough at some point. But borderless, the colours really pop. There's just something to do with the way the people are drawing. Um, and I'd said about the stories as well. So like there's some cards in this where that I love a deck that makes you think about a particular card in a different way, or that approaches the card from a different angle that makes you think. So the card that I'm thinking of, there are a few actually, the like particularly across the swords suit. Um, Cards like the Two of Swords, but the one that I'm thinking of is the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords that we would normally kind of is the like the kind of the heart and the sword stabbed through the heart if you're going by your Smith weight. I was talking about it there. Like generally, I'll tend to read it as more about three is like a number of growth and expansion, and the swords is the intellect. It's your understanding. It's how you understand the world around about you. So to me, the Three of Swords would normally be like kind of the expansion of the intellect, the growth of the intellect. But in terms of the Golden Dawn, it is the Lord of Heartbreak or Heartache. Um, so they really kind of take the playing card association, the kind of a Three of Spades, and see it as a card about pain and heartbreak and whatnot. But this puts those two together in a really nice way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the entry for the Three of Swords. Um, see if I can find that. So here we go. I'll hold it so you can read along with me. So in this card, we find some of the deepest suffering that we may encounter in life, it's a personal, deep, and lasting. It is personal, deep, and lasting. Often in a reading, this card points back to something in the past that has left a permanent wound. So, from the first paragraph, we're really getting that, Smith way, playing cards, kind of a painful Three of Swords. So it says here, Chaucer, and forgive me if my pronunciation is off here, Chaucer is known to be an expert hunter, able to find and catch or kill animals that others could not. One day, Olofin, an aspect of the creator, asked him to catch a specific bird for him, which he did. When he brought it home, his mother found it and prepared it for dinner, not knowing why the bird was there. When he came back, he was outraged that the bird was gone and could not figure out who had stolen it. He set out to catch another and brought it to Olafin right away. When asked what he wanted in return, Ochosi said he wanted his arrow to strike dead the person who had taken the first bird. Olafin granted his wish, so Ochosi fired the arrow high in the air and straight into his mother's heart, killing her. When he found out the consequences of his search for justice, he pleaded with Olafin to bring her back. So from that, we don't just get the idea of, heartbreak, loss and whatnot. You kind of get this, be careful what you wish for, you know, be careful on your search for truth isn't the be all and end all, pure hard facts aren't, that's not all that we need to concern ourselves with. We also need to think about compassion, and there's other things that are important as well as that truth. So that truth is the what I would say is the numerological, the expansion of the intellect, your search for the truth. And yeah, like that's an idea, that's an instance of how the truth really can hurt. And you know what I mean? It just makes you think about the card and approach it in a slightly different way. And there's quite a few of the cards now. Like I say, I've not had a lot of time to work with this. I've barely even begun. Um, that particular Pataki, I picked up from watching a walkthrough before I had actually purchased the deck. Um, so yeah, but as I'm looking through it, there's quite a lot of the Patakis that do make you approach the cards just think slightly differently, and that's right up my street. So this is my Pleased to Meet You, and that was the Orisha Tarot by Andrew McGregor. Okay, so that's the tag. It was quite a short one. So thank you so much to the lovely Kasia. Let me just switch over. Well, thank you so much to the lovely Kasia for putting this together. It's been really fun to respond to and talk about. And yeah, thank you very much to you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care everyone, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.